rhythm killer with the freshest brand new. It's like the boy they forgot or they never knew. So that the P stand for Pepper, London Posse is the crew. Try pressure who? One and big up SKANDOUZ, big up Dre and big up Archer too as we move.
Oh, yeah,
Are we starting now?
Yeah, why not? Because I know we got Daak for like another 15 minutes, innit?
Okay.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be sooner. So like, I don't know. The name and everything is like, the name right now is Daak, but I feel like for me, I came up with that when I was still uni times, just starting up my artistry, getting into the hip hop game, still like prioritizing barring over the sound of the music. So I feel like now that I've kind of changed, I want to maybe use my real name paired with something else instead of just Daak.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to leave that one for now. Yeah, but my background is, just standard background.
Yeah.
Came up, first generation of my family to grow up in England.
Yeah.
Grew up around white people actually.
Yeah.
So it's weird now because I feel like where I grew up in Rotherhithe, when I go back there now, it doesn't really look the same. Okay. Like when I was there, I was the only black kid there. I was the only one. I had no black people in my school. This and this, I didn't even know. People were calling me chocolate boy. I was like, yo, this is normal. This and this and this. But yeah, I moved out to Essex and I just started rapping randomly. It's such a weird story. I was like at a school camp, and then this is where I had a group of black friends, and then like as a group of young black teens, like, oh, what can black people do? We can rap. Okay, let's all try and rap.
Yeah.
And I made this rap. And, oh, you're pretty good. I was like, you know what? I'm pretty good. I was ass, but I just kept it moving from there, and then got better. And then at uni, someone gave me my first gig. I was super nervous. Did it. Everybody loved it, and then from there I was like, oh, I can actually do this shit. Man. Just been going since then, really.
So obviously, because you're a bit younger than us as well, man, right? Who was like, obviously you just didn't start rapping. So I mean, like, but who did you model your style on, like, from the very beginning? Like?
My favorite rapper back in the day was Lil Wayne. That was my favorite rapper. So it was definitely him. And when he was at the top, this was also when Drake just came out with Best I Ever Had. And I remember hearing him perform that at one of the music awards and thinking, yo, this guy is fucking amazing. Yeah. So I think it was modeled after Lil Wayne and Drake. And then when I heard of Kendrick, I got a little bit of that in there. Obviously, people like Eminem have been in there for like the faster flows. I feel like it's weird because I grew up around only white people, they didn't listen to any black UK artists. Yeah. So all I had around me was what was on the TV. And what was on the TV was US hip hop. And that's basically where all my influences came from, the US hip hop scene.
What was your first experience of like UK hip hop, like, or UK music?
The first one. See, when you say first one, then I'm thinking like,
So I wouldn't say the first.
Over the top, really.
Yeah,
like Dizzy, like, or someone like that. Dizzy and Chip. Yeah. Chip from early, because I remember Chip did the whole Oopsie Daisy thing back in the day when he switched over, and then Dizzy had the, what was it? Some people think I'm bonkers. Some people out that joint. Yeah. So because those two switched over and they were kind of mainstream, I found out about them. And Chip's actually like my favorite like UK rapper now. I think. Like,
Chip is sick. Chip is sick.
So it would be Dizzy and Chip for me, who were my first ones, and then Skepta after that.
Yeah. Dope, man. So you got to the point where like, yeah, I'm rapping now. I got my rap name because you said you found a Daak Martin early, and then you performed at your uni and that. But then at what point were you thinking like, you know what, actually, I can do something with this. It's not just a hobby. Maybe I can potentially have a career or something.
Well, I guess at uni, that's when I got the first paycheck for performing. So then I was like, oh shit, if people are gonna pay and they actually think I'm good, I can try and take this as far as whatever. And I think, do you know who Laura Mvula is?
Yeah.
she came. There was like this BBC introduced. I don't know, some BBC event that was happening because they were doing a festival, and she came to listen to people's music and give them advice. And I pulled up, and they were like, "Oh, you need to bring an MP3 to play to her to give advice." I was like, "Yo, I'm not bad." Bro, you see me? I'm doing this live thing, man. I'm doing it live. And then the managers were looking at me like, she's like, "Oh, this guy's crazy." And Laura's just like, "No, I gotta do your thing." So that's when I just wrote Radioactive then. So I did that for her. And then she was just like, "Yo, you know what to do. You just go and do it." And then I was like, I think from there, that's what really gave me the biggest push to pursue. If an artist on her level is gonna listen to my bars that I just wrote in my room like a week ago, and think that, you know, I have talent for it. You know, it's all well and good thinking that you have the talent, but then when you get that external validation as well, from someone who's higher than you, then I think that's was a big push for me.
Yeah, well, that's dope, man. And that's probably we probably met you a bit after that when you
you actually did.
Radioactive track.
Yeah, it literally, like, I think I met you guys maybe a month after that.
Oh wow.
But like, I did that was the end of third year, and then summer I was just like trying to get into, like, I went to uni in Exeter, so that I like knew the Exeter music scene. I didn't know the London music scene, so then I was like trying to find out about it. Don't even know how I got to that event at Notting Hill Arts thingy or whatever it's called. Don't know how I got to that event. Saw you guys, like, I don't know what's going on here. What's happening here? Yeah, then was Juke there? I can't remember. I feel like someone was wearing a top hat.
I don't know if I know anyone got a top hat, bro.
Bro, I feel
No,
like,
but like, I was quite infamous for the hat.
oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. This guy, I'm sure I saw this hat. I'm sure I saw this hat was there.
You got a collection of them hats, bro. But I know it's not a top hat though. And it's not.
It's not a fedora, but like, I don't know what it's like in between the fedora and a top hat or something like that.
Hey, I don't know my hats. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I met you guys, and then Scan gave me a chance to come and do freestyling on the show, and then, you know, everything happened from there, I guess.
And the confidence level just went up, man, and you were just hitting us with the heat, bro. So here we are in 2020, and obviously I know you've been recording in that, man. And we started a conversation where you're kind of at like a, what's the word? Is it an apex or a part in your career where you're looking at maybe a different name, and you're thinking where you're going to
like a solidification of style, maybe, like. So I remember when obviously Eric Lau. And when I played some music for him, his response to me was like two things, or three things actually. So firstly, he was like, "Oh yeah, I think you're very talented, this and this," which was great to hear from him. And then he was like, "You know, your music sounds very different. So like, I hear you on this song, you're sounding this way. I hear you on this song, sounding a different way." And at the time, I couldn't really internalize that feedback, because I was just like, "What do you mean? I'm spitting bars on these things. Like different beats are gonna sound different." So I didn't understand. But then, like, going forward from that point, and the way I do like my cadences now, I guess it's like I was just barring then, and now I'm trying to flow and bar, get the balance right. So I didn't have the balance right, is what I'm guessing what was happening. So I was barring, and then in some cases I would just go way left with the flow, but now I'm just like trying to keep it at that sweet spot.
Trying to hone a sound now, like a sound that identifies who you are as an artist.
Exactly. So even if I'm going at different paces or doing different flows, you know, because of the cadence, that it's me, right? So
yeah,
that's what I'm going for now.
That's dope, man. And Eric Lau's a good person to be in touch with, man. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
Yeah, he took me up for sure. He hooked me up with this producer from, I think I told you about this, from Hong Kong.
Okay.
Canada. I think we had like 2 days in the studio and made like 3 songs, which, like, because the circumstances haven't got finished yet, because I was just like dealing with a lot of stuff at the time. But like, he's an amazing producer, so I have to big up Eric Lau for that. He actually hooked your boy up.
Damn. So now he's recommended you, bro. You got to come through for him next year, man, and just deliver.
I know. This is the thing, but like, this my biggest hurdle right now is the mixing aspect of it, because like I found somebody to mix my stuff, and he was really good, and then all of a sudden he's just MIA.
Wow.
And then lockdown, right? So it's just like, I can't have this freedom to meet other producers and see what they can give me. And then I think Jerome's really busy as well, so this is another thing. So I was like, okay, I have to learn myself. And then I put something out on IG, which I mixed myself, which people said was decent, but it's still very difficult for me. Like I do stuff. I think I got that one like kind of right, but then I'm trying to do it on other stuff. I was like, it's not there yet. Yeah. So I think that's probably the biggest hurdle for me, mixing.
Fam, you see with this mixing thing, boy, it's like your 10,000 hours, bruv.
Yeah.
Like literally, bruv. Like, and like, unless you ain't got somebody to sit you down and take you through the process, you literally have to kind of figure it out as you go, and trial and error, and then you get one piece of information, and then it's like wow, like shit. So like it's like, even with me, like I'm finally getting like I'm just grabbing pieces of information from bare different places, and I've finally got like a basis of what I should be doing with like a mix. And Scan will tell you like I'm sending in mixes, and then I'm like, bro, like how's the low end? Oh, how's this? How's that? Because I've got the information now, and I'm figuring out that like the environment that I have to compensate for other things. So it's literally your bloody 10,000 hours, and that's just mixing beats.
Yeah.
Fucking when vocals comes involved, man.
I think that's a bit different.
It's a bit different, fam. It's different. It's the same. Obviously, it's the same process in a way, but when you've got different dimensions, and you've got different things that you want to do within the mix with the vocal, it can get a bit techie.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, the vocal mixing actually comes a bit easier, but then that's at a basic level. So maybe like stacking BVs and placing effects at a basic level is easier for me, like echoes or what's that thing, stereo delay or something like this, reverb. But then when it gets a bit more technical, like maybe doing the whole de-essing, and I always forget to gain stage at the beginning, and then like, I don't know, I feel like there's other stuff that's all around there that like I'm not good at. And then when the beat's involved, especially if I get a beat from someone that didn't make it specifically for me, and I'm finding out now that like maybe the best way to do it is separate the low end of the MP3 from the high end of the MP3, so I have more control over how my vocal fits in that stack. But then I'm lazy, I don't want to do that. I feel like there's a lot of potential, but it's like, it's so much. I feel like you want to, as an artist who primarily raps, rapping is your craft, number one. So I'm always looking to improve that first and foremost. But then how much time do I allocate to mixing? Is it better if I give it to someone else and just focus on that and just reach my apex there? Or do I need to do it all concurrently? You know, so it's maybe another issue I'm facing, or trying to discover how to optimize.
But I don't know, man. What expertise can you lay on that, Juke, man?
Fam, you know what? It's because I can relate, because it's the same thing like with producing and like engineering your stuff. It's like, how far do you want to take it where you kind of know what you're doing, but I feel like if you kind of like reverse engineer, once you start, like what I found is, now that I'm quite proficient in like mixing and like mastering to a degree, when I'm producing, the sound selection becomes more apparent. Like I'm like, okay, this is gonna fit in the low end, this is gonna fit in the mid range. I might need some top, but the hi-hats might do it. So I mean, obviously you're not gonna, you may not need to take it all the way forward. Salute to the man them Artcha. But I think like a decent basis of knowledge will help you definitely. Just to be like, okay, well, like even if you get a beat and you may be like, oh, could you take this out? Could you take that out? Just sonically and like maybe like frequency wise, like, or you could be like, okay, these two things are clashing. Like with my vocal, could you take this out of the beat? Like at least you know, like you may not become like the best engineer or best mixer or whatnot, but at least you know what's going on. Like now I know, like I can't have too many things in like the high frequencies because it's just gonna clash. I could DS some of it, but it's just gonna clash. I may need to take out a bit in the mid range of some of the sounds so the artist vocal could fit in it. And I can't have too many things going on in the low end. Like because it sound crazy or it will distort or it's like a mix and blend and also trying to figure out like what I'm gonna need to take out. Like 808s for like the low end, cool. I may need a bass line that fits like the lower mid range maybe, but I'm rambling a bit. But
I'm trying to take it. I'm trying. Hey, you know what it sounds like? Sounds like what you need to do is take me under that wing.
Yo. So Arch, just to bring you up to speed real quick, man. We're just talking about mixing. Daak was talking about learning how to mix vocals. Juke was talking about mixing instrumentals. Obviously, you sit on both fields. So I mean, is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think everything that brother Juke's saying about frequency is crucial. I think when I first started mixing, it was about levels. I didn't really understand frequency, so especially you know when you've made a beat and the bottom is banging.
Bottom is banging.
And you can't hear anything else because the low frequency on a different system is just overpowering. So there's a lot of science involved. I'd say really what I've learned with that is less. I try and put less instrumentation into the production, and like I think you were saying, you give the vocalist more space.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about being the artist and the producer, because when you're the producer, sometimes obviously you want to shine, innit? You want to make sure what time it is. Yeah. But when you're the artist, you want to make sure your vocal is clear and clean and people can hear what you're saying. Yeah. And I just realized when I was making certain production and vocals were on it, I was losing vocal.
Yep.
Going on. And yeah, just a couple of dons were just saying there's too much going on in the production, so you're losing, things are getting cut. And then I started learning about side chaining, the importance of compression.
Yeah.
The G, you probably know all about this, Juke. The G code of taking out all frequencies from all instruments that you don't need. So, for example,
that you don't need
no frequency, and that actually occupies a space in the sound realm. You can't hear it, but it's there. So you have to actually go in and manipulate and take that out, so you get more room for the kick. All of that kind of tweaks just made my production step up, and the mixes were better. They're not the best. I don't think I've mastered it yet, but I know what I'm looking for when I record, and I know what I'm looking for when I'm recording another artist.
Well, this is what I was saying to Daak is like you're learning on the spot. You're doing your 10,000 hours, and you get, like you said, you get to the point where it's like, I know what I'm looking for. Like the execution is 10 times more now. And as you were saying, like with frequencies, like you could make the beat, and this is the thing as well, like from artist, producer, mixer, like even artist, beat maker, producer, mixer. Like the beat maker, producer bit is where like you make the beat, and then the producer hat comes on and be like, okay, boom. See that piano? It's got too much lows and it's interfering with my kicks and my 808s. I need to surgically EQ that out. I need to arrange this motherfucker. I need to make this work with the vocal. What else could I do with the vocal? Like with reverb and fucking sending it to ascend, and that's when the producer hat comes in.
Yeah.
And then the engineer hat comes on. Okay, well, like you say, talk about levels, because that was my thing as well. Leveling is completely different to when you then want to process it so it comes up in level. And that's where your engineer mixer hat comes on. It's like, okay, this thing's level, but better things are distorting here. Okay, I can clean that up. And then I need to rebalance everything. And then on the fucking, the chain itself, what am I going to do on the chain to then bring it up to what everybody else is rocking with? And like referencing, fam, you can tell I've been in the back cave.
I thought you were gonna go to the Dre mix.
Hey, no, listen. See, 2001.
That's my reference.
Boy, enough said then. That's it. 2001 sonically, it's just so crisp and clear. Like, and obviously he's using outboard gear and stuff like that, but just bringing it in your mix and using certain references tools just to see where things are hitting and being like, okay, once you kind of gain the knowledge to kind of get it there, then it's like, okay, well, I can attempt to kind of get it there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Dre, man.
But do you find this, Duke, that the more you're in the game, the more you're producing, you are understanding that the frequency, the leveling, the mixing is part of the production.
It is part of the production.
Like you can get a beat and mix the beat because it's not your. But when you're the producer and the engineer, you actually understanding that actually I want my hi-hats loud.
Yep.
I don't want them low because that's the production. That's what I want it to sound like.
And this is what I was saying to Daak is that. Yeah. This is what I was saying to Daak is that you have the benefit of the knowledge when you go through the process of, like, if you're an artist and you learn how to produce or you learn a bit of mixing, you have the knowledge and the benefit from being like, I want my 808s to distort like this. Yeah. Or I want the hi-hats to ring off in this way. Or I don't want them to, like, you understand that. Like, even as you said, as a producer, like, once you produce the beat and then come into mixing, you're like, cha, I want the hats to kind of shine through me. I know I want that kick come through straight down the middle. I know I want that snare to go slap you in your face, fam. Like, right that, but as well, and this is the next thing that I learned, is like your mix in 3D.
Wait.
So, see, Daak, and you would appreciate this. You see, in Dragon Ball Z, when Goku goes to the planet, goes to the planet. Probably goes to the planet to go on Koch, yeah, and to rejuvenate and learn. That's me, fam. Like,
oh shit! So you're getting Zen,
especially when it comes to like mixing in like 3D. Like I got this plug. This is really nerdy shit, but I got this this plugin that enables me to not just pan stuff left and right, but pan stuff like in and out, like a box.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so, and I'll be listening to mixes and I'll be like, except for volume, I'll be like, how is it that somebody has got their shit layered, like left and right, but layered towards you, or like a kind of triangle? Do you know what I mean? Like, I know I just went on a mad tangent. I apologize.
I think this is what producers want to hear. This is what producers want to hear.
But Daak, you started producing as well, right?
So there is one beat that I have produced so far, which is reputable or noteworthy in my opinion. The rest of them, it's so hard. So like that one was a lot easier for me because it was like, I feel like it was luck, if anything. So I got a sample, I pitched it up. What else did I do to it? I pitched it up and increased the tempo, and I just threw some stock drums on there. I was like, wait, sounds kind of This doesn't sound kind of good right now.
It's kind of decent.
Yeah, it's not kind of stupid right now. But like but I couldn't get the hi-hats sounding right, so I went to someone who helped me mix those right. And I think it was just done from there. But like moving forward with production, I was like, bro, I need to like take this guitar stuff to another level. If you know an instrument, it's just easier. Ideally, you want to learn piano, right? Because then the input for the beats is easier. Like it's just translatable. But guitar's my first instrument, so I was just like, let me not start on something new. Let me just do what I already know and build on that. So that's gone along. I'm like 6 months in since lockdown. Getting to like an intermediate level, but I feel like making beats. Oh, who's got it? Whoa, who's got the echo going on? Who's the echo man right now?
And that's Arch. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, no. So like making songs, like original songs, as opposed to like playing other songs at intermediate level, that's still difficult. So I've got some like melodies that I have like saved as voice messages. And whenever I go to work with someone who has drums, then I'll just whip them out and be like, yo, can you do something to this melody? And then just build around that. So I've got a bunch of ideas for beats. I've got one beat that's fully made. But yeah, I'm still plodding along with that. Still moving along with that.
Mad, bro. So my next question for everybody, I don't know who wants to jump in first, man. But what's your, in terms of like production and mixing, what's your target for the year ahead, man? So I know everybody's looking to step up a level. So what's the next thing you're trying to get your head around? Ask Juke first.
Okay, so like with, I guess, production, it's like sorting out like my sounds and the different styles I want to kind of experiment with and implement and execute to the point where it becomes like second nature. So I could garner a lot of musicality, so I could work with different types of artists and put out different types of records like that I will be producing, or I would be on, or you lot will be on, X, Y, Z, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, Artcha's record, brand new remix that I'm working on as we speak. And that's like that's up tempo, but it's still got my kind of my kind of fingerprint on it. Production wise, like mixing wise, I guess continuing to learn, and so like when if I don't outsource it, I can do something myself and put it out. And yeah, just going forward, I think yeah, man, just like being able to execute different styles like the way I want, and advance in that sense, and show the musical growth as I'm putting out stuff, because I feel like it's come to that point where like you said, Scan, like I have, like everybody's looking to step up. And it's just a balance of like life and to pursue music, and trying to get stuff out as much as possible that's decent quality. Do you know what I mean?
That's dope, man. Dope. Daak, what are you saying, bro?
Hey, I mean, my goals are just moving forward from this year. So I had like a whole list of stuff at the beginning of 2020 that I need to get done, which I'd like to say 50% of it is done. But I guess the major thing for me is just putting out more content more regularly. So like if I can get 5 songs out next year, then I'll be happy. 5 songs with 3 beats out to the world next year, then I'll be happy.
Yeah. Cool. Oh. Arch, what are you saying, man?
Yeah, man, I'm in awe of Juke, man, because I've seen you build productions. I know you're coming with fire, and I think for me, with my producer hat on, I'm trying to do more musicality. So I'm trying to do more key changes. So, and I kind of really want to work with more vocalists, singers. And that thing that you said about being a producer that you can work with any artist, that's really where we really. So yeah, it's gonna be a good spot because I've got the remixes, the vocal remixes for the Ego playlist coming with different vocalists, and obviously
brand new remixes. Duke's got some fire for me.
Yes, sir.
2021 is producer hat Archer, man. I think project-wise, I'll probably put maybe one project out next year for me, but I want to work with different artists all year round.
Facts.
Nice. That's dope, bro. I was just telling Tom the other day, man, I felt inspired to want to do a Christmas project next year. So I was just thinking, like, you know, because there's that timeless stories that songwriters always tell you, you know, you only need one hit and you can eat off that for the rest of your life when it comes to Christmas, you know? So it's just like, and as far as I'm aware, not probably since the 80s, no one's really seriously tried to put like a hip hop Christmas project together, you know? So it's kind of like a challenge in a sense, in terms of looking for samples, you know, how can we spin this, you know what I mean? And make a real contemporary sound, you know, based on one season.
Wait, since the 80s? I swear, like, Ludacris did a joint, right? He did a... Ludacris, he had a... Yeah, Ludacris.
Yeah, I find with a lot of these people, they half-heart it, you know what I mean? It's just a quick, like, trying to make a quick change, like, you know? But I don't know how many really pay attention to the sonics and, you know, really try and make timeless classics. Timeless Christmas tracks and really understand the science. Because whatever radio station you listen to, man, they'll roll out the joints. You know, Mariah is eating for life off of one song. You know, big fans. Real talk, man.
Like some of them Christmas songs are bangers, though.
Real talk, real talk. Yeah.
Remix, what you working on?
Apart from the remix, Duke. What you talking about?
Yo.
Oh, sorry, Duke.
Oh,
yo. Yeah. So I've got I'm trying to, like, I've got this 2-track EP to put out that I've been getting mixed out with Dank from Frank and Dank.
Oh, nice.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. That's my guy, man. If he sees this, salute to him, because he's like from that lineage of dopeness, like, and he's such a cool, blessed guy, bruv. And as long as you're like showing that respect and like blessings, like he reciprocates that more than you do. It's like an OG. It's like a big brother type thing, and like he's just like, whatever you need, I've got you, fam. And that is like bare refreshing from coming from somebody who of that like ilk, and you know, he worked and is friends with, and like his brother, like with one of like my favorite, if not favorite producer of all time. I'm just like and like when, you know, I'm going on a bit, but like when he tells like stories and stuff like that, I'm just in awe, like you know. So I've got to get those records mastered, and then like I was saying before, just like working with like different types of artists. Like I want to do some R&B stuff because I've been studying that a bit, like sonically, musically. And I feel like I can execute that a bit with my kind of thumbprint on it. There's a couple of artists that I wanna, that will work. Hopefully, will work with me. Like just independent stuff. Do you know what I mean? And like hopefully, like put out some EP or album or something with visuals and like proper promotion artists. And
that's what I want to see from you. Definitely, 100.
Yeah, but
whole Duke project.
Yeah. Okay. I thought he was gonna say there was more, man. But you know what? We never done. we haven't heard the Juke84 origin story yet. So I just want to know how we got the name Juke84 and like how did you come into making beats, bro?
Okay, so Juke84 wasn't my original rap name or artist name or producer name, because like we used to do like the rapping thing back in the day, and still might, but that's a but like I called back in the day I called myself Jigs.
Okay.
So it was JIGGZ.
Okay.
And that was based off an amalgamation of Jay-Z's name and something else. Because my favorite rapper probably is Jay-Z, I think. But then there was like DJ Jigs.
Okay.
JIGS. So I was like, shit. So, and that's showing my age, boy. Fucking hell. Let me take a drink to that shit.
I remember Jigs.
So then, I don't know how it came about, but like, in and around that time, like I felt like the stuff that I was producing, and I'm gonna get to how I started producing in a sec, but the stuff I was producing was quite varied, like influenced by different things, different like music, like I was just to hip hop, and like my favorite cassette, show my age again. Favorite cassette was Michael Jackson Off the Wall. So classic. So when I was producing and stuff, it was quite musical. And varied, so I thought, oh, I'm like a jukebox. So that's what I called myself, Jukebox. And like a lot of people know me as Jukebox. But then one day, randomly, I got some like some mad cease and desist thing on Facebook from these people in like the States or Australia or something, like saying, oh yeah, like our name is Jukebox and something. So like obviously I was like, oh fuck that, but I thought about it, and then I was like, I kind of want something unique that's mine, and I thought about using my real name, like kind of like a Daak situation, like where you're going musically and you're maturing in your sound and you as a person and all these types of stuff. So I was like, real name, man. Then I don't know, like I don't know if it was like based off of like Wretch or something like that, and like, I was just kept on seeing artists with numbers at the end of their names. So I saw, and obviously the Jukebox to Juke. And then my year of birth is 84, so I went. So yeah, that's how I came up with Juke84, and it's unique. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, and in a way, it's kind of like my artistry and my actual self put together. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of the best of both worlds in a way. So I can, you know. If I was to vocal something, I could come from like two different perspectives, the kind of artistry showing your skill type of thing, and then the introspective life kind of storytelling of music and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how. Huh? What's that you're cutting out?
Yeah.
You know what? Like I never stop like coming up with stuff in my head or thinking of like rhyme schemes and all that types of stuff. I never stopped doing that. But I think I was having a conversation with one of you two in regards to like the confidence thing. And being around people who execute their vocal performances on a next level, i.e. you two, if I was to do that, it would be something where I would need to go into the back cave, and just work on that, because it's like the producer thing, like, and I guess that's the reason why I kind of made the transition from that to production more so, and I haven't forgot the production story, but like production is less. How do I describe it? It's
okay, you're in the shadows, really, innit? You're not on front and center.
Yeah, like it's coming from you, but not in the same way, and it's something that you know, I guess it's not the same attachment. Like, I hope I'm making sense of what I'm saying, because it's like when it's your vocal, and when it's the words that you're saying and how you execute it, like, you know, and it's something that you hear back and you don't like the way it sounds, like you don't want other people to hear that shit.
Yeah, facts. It's funny because I'm trying to think. I don't want to cut you, bro, but I'm just thinking about that thing about putting more focus on one than the other. Because I know for me, I have to do one at a time. So if I'm the artist, I'll do artist for 6 months. That's just write, record, and then I'll do production for 6 months. Because for me, that's a whole different headspace.
Yeah, 100%. I feel if I had the opportunity, obviously you can make your own opportunity, but if I can maybe get some sort of setup or somewhere where I can go where like I could just do what I need to do with no inhibitions and all that types of stuff, then I feel like I can maybe balance the two. Because I feel like that I know that I love to perform, as you man seen. So like that's something that's in the back of my mind, and something may come up in the near future or them type of things there.
I want to do 2021, bro.
Ooh! It might like I'm looking to get like a decent setup with like a mic, and just for like the streaming stuff, because I want to do like Twitch and all that types of stuff, and I want to do YouTube and all that types of stuff. So like I'm looking into what type of mic I should get, just for like the home setup, because it's not acoustically treated, you know what I'm saying? So anything that can cut out all the crap that's going on, then the better, but you still want that quality. In regards to production, man, I started producing because when I was around, like, so school days, Northumberland Park. Man,
wait, you went to Northumberland Park?
Northumberland Park, bro.
Did I know that? I can't remember, man.
You might have known that. Did you go to Northumberland? You didn't, did you?
Like, obviously, Wretch went.
Exactly.
My boy who got me into rapping, Iceman. He used to call himself Iceman. Richard.
Richard.
Bro, that's mad.
Yeah, fam. Like, so and it's a bit of a tangent, but I remember Wretch being, I think, a year or two below me with Hunt. Yeah. Shout out to them, man. Them. I remember all that shit. So there was like a little kind of music room or whatnot, and then we used to go in there and like do freestyles and make beats and whatnot. And there was a chap that we used to roll with who was always making the beats. And then it got to a point where it was like, I was watching him do it, and I'm like, I want to make my own shit. So I started tinkering on the old school Cubase. So I made my first beat there at school, and like that was kind of the catalyst, and we kind of made a transition from using that to FL Studio or Fruity Loops, and just was using that from there, man. Just kicking, just being influenced by like all the stuff that my virgin GKD, shout out to you, bro, if you see this, bossed me on, like old school Exhibit, old school DMX, old school Dazzle Corrupt, old school Dre, fucking Jay-Z, fucking Rough Riders, just being influenced by that, and like wanting to make beats like those guys, you know, because you're inspired. Like that's the genesis, you know. Like wanted to make a beat like Bitch Please. Wanted to make a beat like I went from that to I went CM because I was using Reason at that time, and when I went CM, I went from using Reason to using Logic, and like as you guys know, like CM was like, it just helped you with everything: musicality, production, mixing, blah blah blah. So then,
and search and reflect.
And so, search and reflect. Hey, that takes me back. Wow. Search and reflect. Yes, Scan. Madness. Okay, so and then like them times there, I started getting heavily into Dilla and Pete Rock and like Just Blaze and them type of man, them like and like they were using an MPC. There's that infamous Pete Rock video of him in the MPC, and I was like, I need one of those. And Kev Brown as well. So I got an MPC, and like my first beat that I made on the MPC was like a DJ Premier type beat. I sampled the drums, I chopped the drums in Recycle, I sampled the drums from a Kev Brown beat, and I think I recorded vinyl into the MPC. It was an MPC.
You have 2008.
Nah, that's too pricey for me, big man. MPC 500 I had, a little box joint. So basic teaching you like analog. It's like the analog mixed with the software. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you could got your jacks to record from vinyl, but it hasn't got enough memory on it, so you can connect USB to the computer and drag sounds into it. So that was, to me, that was imperative because I learned the analog with the software. Do you know what I'm saying? Mixing in Logic, and I feel like I don't know, like I feel like just producers should kind of not know both, but have an experience of both, and not just software. Like they're tangible, you know.
Yeah.
What were you doing? Were you chopping the sample in the MPC, or were you chopping the sample in Logic?
I was doing everything, bro. So I would either sample into Logic, or sample into the MPC, or chop whatever in Recycle. So I was doing a whole load of shit. But like, because then I got into Ninth Wonder, and he then was going from FL Studio to like the MPC himself, and I was watching the videos like of him chopping. That's like those types of producers I learned like my chopping game from. Like, so I seen him chop or whatnot with like records and like taking pieces. I'm like, okay, that's how you do it. So I try to implement it in my own thing. So then from Logic, I went to Machine, and I met one of my favorite records that I made on Machine is What's Love.
Ooh, bro, bro, that's one of my favorite songs. It's one of my favorite songs from you, and it's the song that pushed my pen, bro. I had to change. Bro, based on the bro, talk to me about the drums, brother. That is mad.
Listen, man. Like, I'll get onto what I'm using now, but like, it just enabled me to just move different. I feel like when you have pads, and when you're able to make things sustain and not sustain, you come up with different patterns and swings. And this is the thing, like I was saying about like with the analog and the digital. Like when you got something like you can feel, you can touch, you can bang on, you come up with different stuff. And I had the Machina, and I'm trying to remember what came first. No, it's because you man then were like, oh yeah, fucking like do a remix of Lovely, and I'm like, yo, that's like one of my favorite records. You man already killed the cover. So how am I gonna like, and Fat Cat, like I've met Fat Cat and I'm kind of cool with Fat Cat, and that's Detroit and there's Dilla and you know what I'm saying, and Young AJ and I think it was Young AJ, RJ and Black Milk that produced it, or it was just Young RJ. I think
Young RJ.
Young RJ, isn't it? Yeah, boom. Sidebar, I remember I sent him when I was making it, and he gave me like the thumbs up, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay. Yeah, so I was like, what am I gonna do? And I think maybe the sample chop kind of came first. Like because the record is already how it is, and this is what I was saying about the analog stuff, because the record's already how it is, you almost have to figure out if you're going to kind of go with how it is or add your own swing to it. And I think that's what I did. From all the things that I've seen with the different producers and all that type of stuff, it's just kind of just come out like, you know.
What's the time signature? Because the drums are swinging differently.
Yeah, it's I think it's just a pocket. Oh, I forgot. Like in school, I used to play the drums.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And
this is what I was saying before in regards to like musicality and executing, because like drums come first nature to me. Is it second nature or first nature? What's the saying?
First nature, yeah.
Yeah, second nature.
Second nature, yeah. I'll just.
Yeah, it's like cup half empty, cup half full. Sometimes I have to like sit there and be like, but anyway, that's some bullshit. But anyway, drums come kind of second nature to me. So swing like I'm chopping a sample and I'm like, okay, it's got this kind of bounce to it, and I could do it straight, or for some reason it was just it's just the next pocket I just kind of came up with. And once I did that, I was like, ooh. And then I was like, okay, it needs low end. Then I added like there's two types of basses. Like there's an 808 bass and there's like a sound wave bass, but they're different. And then when I added that, I was like, oh shit. And then Scan was like, oh yeah, this needs a hook part. And I was like, oh. But then I chopped up the hook part of the original. And then like once you guys sent me back the record and like we did tweaks, and the song just does this.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like, I don't know, like you guys tell me what the process of recording and that was like, but like I just feel like Dre went in, boom, and then Scan was like, what? And then Scan went in, and then Archer was like, excuse me? And like no disrespect like to anybody, like whatnot, yeah, but like Archer, when I heard your bit, like that is like, I feel like I feel like that's my favorite verse of yours on one of my records.
Yeah, I think
because you just go mad on that.
Boys, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro, because Scan was sending me updated versions of the song. you got like that song in 3 different stages. I remember from the get-go, the drums were swinging different. And I thought, hold on a minute. Bro, the verse was writing itself.
Yeah.
Going over it. That line done, and then that was it, bro. And then execution time. I don't think I told any of you this.
No shit.
The way I practiced it wasn't the way I recorded it.
Wow.
But the way I recorded it was what it was supposed to be.
And you know, for me, what further enhanced that still is what HKB Finn did with the video. Because if you notice, when it comes to Artcha's verse, literally on every single chop, it's a cut. It's a cut.
That's a cut.
And it's going around and it's going around. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. 100%.
In a hip hop video in my life, bro. Like that was
like
innovative business, right?
Yeah, like that's what put the icing on the cake for me on the record. Because each of you have your scenes. Each of your scenes are sick. And like I said, like the record just goes up. And then when it comes to Artcha's scene, and he's spinning around and he's got it cut, like that, like doing video editing myself, that is long, bro. Scan, as you know. And you, man, fucking hell, what am I talking about? That is long. Like, and for him to kind of, like, yeah, man.
For me, it's the reason why I say it's a classic.
It is a classic. Fuck it, no, it's a classic. It's a classic.
Well, you know when you say something's a classic, but you sometimes people don't articulate. I can articulate why that song is a classic from the topic, from everyone's verses, to the musicality, the drum pattern. For me, I've never heard a drum pattern like that, bro. Not ever in my life have I heard that drum pattern. I was like, this is brand new to me. Yeah. And then when we put it all together, and then Dre does the hook, it's a classic. Facts.
Yeah. And the thing I love about it, it kind of takes the original to the next level. And it's one of those. It's like when you can master this thing, like where you can make a track sound old and new at the same time, you know. And it just like you're hearing next level, but then it's still rooted in, like, it's got its foundation as well. You know, it's anchored, but it's taking you to the future, bro. That for me is the definition of a record, of that record for me. You know,
and I think you've just kind of encapsulated me as a producer, as an artist, as my whole kind of branding type thing. Because like Jukebox is like old school, you know, and 84 is me, but it's kind of retro, but it's kind of new and fresh. You know what I'm saying? I remember I made a beat like, and I put it on mini disc. Sorry, my age again. Take a drink.
You're on that retro futuristic, bro. You know, I don't know if someone's used that before, but fam, you can have it. Retro futuristic, fam. Real talk.
Nah, 100%, fam. And I made a beat, and I'm like I was saying, like I made a beat called Future Beat, and it was just like this kind of experimental. Because like my Virgin GKD and the powers we was rolling with, like their stuff was slightly kind of dark, and like I would take very small influences of that, but I had various different influences. Do you know what I'm saying? And I made this beat called Future Beat, and like you said about What's Love, Scan, is that it was like old, but it was new. And it was basic as shit, but it was old, it was new, and I feel like that's what I kind of do instinctively. Like I guess that's the reason why, like I mean, we're all perfectionists, don't get me wrong, but like if I make something, it needs to have like the totality of like old school, but have whatever influences that I'm listening to at the time kind of be in it as well.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't hit me like that, then I'm gonna work on it until it does, or I'm not gonna put it out, or I'm just gonna move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I think what I've learned about you specifically when it comes to the music, like you, and that's why I feel like everything you put out hits hard, bro, because you won't put it out unless you're 100% happy with it. And that's why for me, I don't mind waiting. I don't mind waiting. So I'll be like, that's fine, and that's what and you said it today, Scan. Like, I think we're all trying to make classic music. We're all trying to make music that's gonna be here when we're gone, man. I don't want songs forgettable. But I feel like for you, Jude, like when you drop your project, it's gonna be a moment, bro. Like we're gonna have to shut down Tottenham or something, bro.
Fam, listen, the ideas that I have for my project, like my actual album, like not like just like a EP or something like that. My actual album, like I've just like along the ways of just making stuff. I just have, because like for me, like I said, like because of what I came up listening to, and the artists that and producers that I love and I cherished, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, like Dilla, and Black Milk. Shout out to Black Milk, by the way, if he sees this.
Yeah, we got the Tronic. We see the Tronic vinyl in the background, bro.
The Tronic and
hey, the freshest EP, bro.
Hey,
Real talk, fam.
you know what I'm saying? That's get me, like that's there, fam. Like those two, like you know what I'm saying? Like I just it needs to, and even if it doesn't bust or whatnot, like it's just that piece of work, that capsule that is just gonna be like here and be heralded, I hope anyway, and have so much like dopeness on it. Like I'm not trying to put out something that's just gonna be frivolous, even though in the times that we are in, music is throwaway. But if I put my thumb on something, like Scan will tell you, like the record, like both records is coming out on your album. Like the intro record. Listen,
got me pushing album release dates back, bro. With these cuts. Yes.
Fam, the way like, especially the intro record, like the way I was like, nah, this needs to be, because when you sent me the sample, and I was like, how am I gonna chop this up? How am I gonna chop this up? Make it make sense. Have it be reminiscent of what you needed, but have my thumbprint on it and be different and unique, but still bang. And I feel like I encapsulated that with the way I chopped it, like the sustain, fam. Like this was saying about hardware, fam. Like chopping something inside, like the box, yeah, and then placing it on the grid is cool. But when you have the pads and you're able to hold a button, you'll be like, oh, let me hold all four in a time sequence that's off of the grid and see what I come up with, you know. And that's why, like, even with like and Serato Sample, big up to Serato Sample. That's like my go-to, my in-between, because I use a MIDI keyboard for it, but it's in the box. And it enables me to kind of chop like if I was on an MPC, and have various different sequences. And I might need to open up a couple channels, because if I think I need to chop something out from one, I think they extended how many chops you can get now. But that enabled me to kind of slice things like very fine and sustain a loop. And that's why it's like the record, once it comes out and you hear it, it's got like various different like vocal chops on it, and I was able to take certain pieces of melodies out and notes and whatnot. But the moral of the story is, I had to make sure of it before I sent it to Scan.
Yeah.
You know, because, and then when you rapped over it, you spazzed on it. I was like,
yeah. I remember hearing that exclusive the first play you did the playback, and I just know it's your production, bro. I knew it was you. Like, I just knew to hear it, bro. And that is important. That identity on production, you know that, bro. You know when you hear a Dre beat, Swiss beat, you know it's them. Like, I know a Juke beat.
Yeah.
yeah.
And even some of them unreleased FRSHRZ joints that we will see next year as well. Like that, what's that, Glass Ceiling track? Oof.
Glass Ceilings!
Yeah.
Glass Ceilings! Yo!
That song, incredible, man. Incredible. Oh, you know?
Wait a second, I forgot. Oh my lord.
I ain't forget, motherfucker. Shit. Listen. And I'm like,
Wow.
Yeah.
Bring it on, man. Bring it on.
Incredible, man. Incredible, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's why I have to salute and celebrate you, man, because you're flipping special artist, man. You know
what? Like, I have to in reverse boost you, man, because like, you know, like, all you lot were very receptive towards me, but you didn't need to be. You took me in the cut and you gave me your platform to, you know, exhibit my skill set, and use that when I went to like Instros Only, or, you know, to play London Posse remix.
Ooh, woo.
Listen. That's why I'm like, fucking hell. Listen, yeah. You see London Posse remix, yeah?
Yo, London Posse remix,
bro.
Start there.
Listen, man. I think it was Scan that hit me up and was like, "Oh yeah, boom." How did we get reacquainted again, Scan?
I think, from my memory, I think we was at a J Dilla gig at I believe was it Camden Palace? It used to be Camden Palace, but it changed its name to God, what's his name? Not K something.
Was it no, it wasn't Coco?
Yeah. We bucked up in a queue and we was in there in this Dilla thing. I think I rolled up with my J's, so I was just like hanging with you, and you were telling me that you produce, and I was like, obviously I was telling you about FRSHRZ, and I was like, oh, you got for doing a remix of one of the tracks, and then you hit us with London Posse, and I was like, oh my god.
Fam, you know what? Yeah, it was a thing of like, I think you mentioned like Artcha and stuff, and it's so weird. It's so weird because I know Artcha, and Dre. I know Dre from No Labels days, from uni days.
Oh wow,
No Label days.
You knew us individually.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the scariest thing. So when you mentioned Artcha, and I was like, yeah, man, I know Artcha, innit? And then when I saw Dre, I was like, Dre.
Crazy.
So crazy. So you said you needed a remix. I was like, cool. You sent me the acapellas. I was like, cool. And I don't remember what sample it is. No, it's I know what the sample is. But the way I chopped it, the boom, 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 sounds like Dilla shit. Right? I think I was vibes into what's that song on Only Built for? I think it's Only Built for Cuban Links 2, with Dilla and Wu-Tang.
Oh, the Dilla, yeah, the Wu-Tang track.
Boom, 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 boom. So I think I was vibing to that. and I wanted to kind of make something that was kind of like that. But it's interesting. It's like the drums on the record don't really kind of cut through, and maybe if I was to do something now to it, I would make it maybe have a bit of presence in the mix, not necessarily something where it's kind of cutting through, but like a bit of like maybe 60 to 80 hertz just to kind of give it some knock down that end.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but that's one of the things I liked about it, because it was, the drums were a bit understated.
Yeah.
Do you know what it reminds me of now, in retrospect? It reminds me of like a, what's his name? Alchemist and Griselda.
Yeah.
Combo. The Alchemist, she's talking samples stated, but it's moving. Still moving.
This is that. Yeah. No, sorry to cut you, bro. Like the way did I make that on machine? Yeah, I made that on machine as well. I made that on machine. So when I got the "When the Thunder Go You Love," I was like, oh shit, no! And even the end bit, like, boom, 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 boom. So when I put the acapella on it, I was like, nah, fam, this is mad.
It's a rap.
This is mad. This is mad. And I was like, I said it in the group chat, like, when we bucked up in the studio to mix it with Jerome. Shout out to Jerome.
Shout out to Jerome.
You went from the park. You went from the park as well.
Yeah.
Fucking, when we were mixing it, and we was all vibing to the studio to the remix, I was like, this is sick.
It's gone. Gone.
This is what I like. This is the vibe that I like. I'm with my good brothers. Like, I did a remix to their tune. It's sick. It's getting mixed. Everybody's happy. Everybody's happy.
Yeah. I remember that. You was, I remember how excited you was, bro. And it's the same experience. I was with my brothers.
Yep.
Classic song like that. There's nothing better than that, man.
Yeah. No.
Nothing. And
you know. No, go to.
Me, what's beautiful, and I have to salute Scan, because Scan is like the flip Avengers, Iron Man.
No, he's Iron Man. He's Iron Man. Let's go with that. He's Iron Man. He's Tony Stark.
Okay. If you look at the legacy, if you look at the history, bro, he's pulled me and he's pulled Dre and he's pulled you in, pulled Jerome in.
Yeah.
All these people we know, I know all of you individually.
Yeah.
That's mad. So everything.
It's
like, it's like a it's just like a landmark. So when I go back and play the songs, I know exactly what happened. I know where we were at that time. I know.
It's the sickest capsules, man. Like I mean, to get back, I mean, again, I salute you lot, because again, you know, part of my legacy is the records that I did with you lot, and then they got videos, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I should, you know, and now I'm using Ableton and blah 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 blah, but when you asked me to produce for Black Pride.
Ooh, jeez. Yeah, talk me through that one, bro. I don't know where your head was at.
Yeah, because I think numbers wise, that's our best performing track as well.
Wow.
So yeah, it did really well.
When I put that on my Instagram, like, people are really receptive to that record. They're receptive to that and What's Love, but like Black Pride. I mean, again, man, is that a machine beat? I'm on the wrong software.
Machine needs to respond.
Hey, machine. I think it just gave me, the mix between, and I think that's why I went from the MPC Logic to Machina, because it gave me the mix between the hardware and the software. I was able to chop within the software, sample into the software, load my sounds all over the gaff. It has its own sounds in it. But I just found it restrictive, and now they've kind of updated it because it's not a complete DAW. That's this issue that they're trying to work through, like compared to like Ableton and Logic and FL Studio and stuff like that. Even FL Studio is a bit kind of meh, but Cubase and Studio One banging. But it's not a complete DAW, but it enabled me to come up with the basis, chop up how I would chop up on the MPC, freak it, and then bounce all the stems and fling it into Logic or fling it into Ableton to mix it and whatnot. And yeah, it was just a. It's like in pieces, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, because it's just not, it's a loop, but it's my loop.
Yeah.
I surgically went in and took pieces, and this is with growth, you know what I'm saying? Like, you hear like the end of the loop before you even put it down.
Yes.
You know,
I was just gonna say on that point, because that's something I'm working on, because my production journey was I started with samples, MPC, sample. That's all I was doing. Then when I went to Logic, I started playing. So I was playing keys, playing synth, and now I'm in a state where I'm messing samples up and making them my own, like you said, your own loop. And it is that thing, I can hear it before it's done.
Yep.
And the mission is to get it to sound how you hear it in your head.
This is the thing, man. Execution, bro. And because you, man, spit, like, you hear it. Like, you hear, like, my voice needs to be like this. I need to rap on the beat like this. My cadence needs to be like this. My tone needs to be like this. My projection needs to be like this. When you rap on, like, a certain level, people don't understand, like, nowadays, and it's no shade in that, but nowadays, people are doing it just to do it.
Yeah.
And it just turns me off a lot of songs.
100%, man. That's the thing I don't rate about. I'm not even gonna single out MCs, but the thing I do rate, as for what I do, I rate the Rhymes, I rate the Jay-Z, I rate the Wretch, I rate the Gets, because they understand that their voice is the instrument as well.
The instrument. Mm-hmm.
You can't just do the same thing on every single song.
Yeah.
They need to get the song. So I agree with you, man, and I think it is that thing about knowing what
You want it to sound like before it's finished.
because you know what the song should be is the point. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And looking at the people that have done it for you, before you, respecting that and wanting to grow, you know, I know it's pretty random, but like an artist like Gigs reminds me of that, or like, you know, how kind of Heady One has kind of grown, like, you know, like musically, not even musically, but just how he spits.
Yeah.
He's got different inflections and different tones and like different flows. You know, he's showing growth, he's showing artistry, and that's what I gravitate towards.
Yeah.
They could be from wherever the fuck,
Yeah.
but like, you give me something different on every track, and you show like you want to do it. Like, I don't want to just hear you just rapping like you don't sound like you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's interesting. I don't know if you guys have seen the Lethal B Daily Duck.
yeah.
Is it recent?
bro.
New one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look for that. I saw something like that about it on Twitter, but I never checked it out.
Yeah, it came out yesterday.
The first thing that I saw is a grown folk. Grown folk with a suit, bro. And a spirit in his hand, bro. And I thought, I just knew, before I heard the verse, this is gonna be new. And he said different on that. I've never heard him like that.
Yeah.
No, man. He's done various records where he's kind of rapped. Do you know what I'm saying? Because them come from our school.
Yeah.
So they know the thing. It's just whether they want to implement it or not.
Yeah.
Compared to going through the journey and being like, oh wow, like, music before me was doing this. Like when they performed over the backing track. Oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Them know. So for him to come and do that, I was like, yeah. And like you said, Arch, like he's just doing a grown, man. Like and saying stuff in the record that's teachable and meaningful and insightful and retrospective. It's very classy. Do you know what I'm saying? And as you said, it's a different, not a different light, but something that he's reaching into his bag to show us, and that's sick.
It's refreshing. It's refreshing.
You know what? One more track I wanted you to talk about actually was a record that you produced for the Black Playlist, and it was a record that I was trying my hardest to make a video for, man, but the artist went MIA. Do you remember Young, Gifted and Black?
Oh man,
that was an incredible record, bro. People to this day still ask me about that record, bro.
Swear.
Real talk, man.
Yeah.
Another side of the sea.
Wow.
Yo,
classics, bro. You got classics already.
Do you know what? Before you answer that, though, did that for me, Arch? You know when I mentioned the Christmas album earlier? Yeah, flipping a classic. That is a prime example for me. We flipped that record, bro, and it just brought it into the future, bro. And
wow. I mean, that was definitely my aim. Like, I found it difficult. Like, that was a difficult record for me because the sample's so infamous. So, and I wish I could go back and mix it again. There's bare records like that I want to go back and mix again, and make cleaner, more prominent in regards to the execution. But that was slightly difficult, as I said, like to try and do something that's not just a loop, but because I was stuck in between two minds. Like, this is what happens when it comes to like sampling and stuff like that. Like, you could be like, I can make a 2-bar, 4-bar loop and then put some drums and change it up a bit. It's calm. It will bang. Like with Ableton, I could do that within 5-10 minutes. But that's not challenging. And as you were saying, Archer, before, it's like you went from like sampling to instrumentation to then wanting to make your own kind of sounds and loops out of samples or your own melodies or whatnot. Like and that is where I'm at now as well, like making my own sounds. I got into like getting into sound design and sample packs, and getting better at like understanding what key I'm in and chords. And I slept on MIDI.
Never sleep on MIDI, bro. Never.
Bro, I slept on MIDI. I slept. But this, like, I'm from the school of like sampling and then trying to hear what the bass line is doing and trying to do it myself and not thinking that like with certain software, this is like things these days is a cheat code, fam. Bare cheat code. You could, and I know it's a bit of a tangent, sorry, but you could get a record take a piece, turn that into MIDI.
Yep.
Like, or say for instance, fuck it. Say you want to figure out the bass line of a song. Get the piece that you want, extract the bass line from the song, turn that into MIDI.
Yep.
And then you know what key is in, what the notes are, and then it's like you could literally be like, okay, well, I could freak it, or I could just. And that was a challenge with the Young Black and Gifted record, and that's the reason why I went with the way that it is in regards to how I chopped it. Boom, 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 boom. But it's kind of like a ska record in a way. But I feel like like how far are you gonna push yourself, man? Like where are you gonna take it, bruv? Like how you gonna go from Saiyan to Super Saiyan, fam?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't want to, that's cool. But don't be ragging on the people that's wanting to do that wants to be better. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Or look at the people who they aspire not to, but like they're like, oh, this is my favorite, and trying to be like, oh, rah, like my man did this, so let me take a bit of that. You know, like.
You know who I think about when you're saying that?
In the current space, Hit Boy.
Oh, Hit Boy on the beat, so you gotta go berserk.
You can hear Hit Boy has J Dilla influence.
Yep.
Rock.
Yep.
But he's also future with the synths, with the keys, with the key change. The key change, like the Benny Banks album. There's mad records on there that I'm like, he is a musician. He knows how to perform.
And I feel like he, for me, right now in
the Butcher. Yeah,
bro.
I rate this guy highly.
Hit Boy. I love Hit Boy, man. Hit Boy's sick because he's so varied and he's got like a rich kind of palette. Like you said, I don't know if you know that song, and this used to be my shit back in the day. All my friends who are testing this, if they see it, they'll know. It's got that song. I think it's called Clap, or like they added 2 Chainz onto it, but it's about strippers.
Oh, from Big Sean's album.
No, this is a record that he put out that he raps on.
Oh wow.
Ass, the way she dance, I got like he's just, and like you said, like he just implements like bare different styles, but like he's a proper sound man. But like he's got his own sound, but he doesn't have that signature sound.
Because he is producing for different artists, and he almost goes to where they need to.
Yeah.
It's to him, his sound, he goes to them. But I think what I
really thought about with him, and I thought about you, is the detail, the little,
man.
The layering of sounds that he does. And I think, I don't want to be, I don't even know what the word is. I think only producers know what we're talking about when we talk about inflections, the cheeky keychain in verse 2 that wasn't there in verse 1, like those little bits. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, man. I like, bruv, you're preaching to the choir right now. Fucking, just like, you know, people will laugh at me because I say this all the time, but Battle Cat.
Strong.
You know, my Chalice remix. Is it Chalice remix? Yeah, Chalice remix.
Hold on.
Delete the record.
That tune is super hard. Super.
Chalice remix was like, I mean, obviously I did it for and like, yeah, I rate you man them because you man them were like in the comments like, Deneo, excuse me, excuse me, you picked this, but bro, like,
Facts.
but that was like not an older Battle Cat, but there was like, I listened to him like all the time, but there was one moment where I was just zoned in, and it's just like, it's just figuring out like how his mind works, like, and as you said, like how like only producers like who go into the intricacies of like bars and stuff like that and where to put stuff, and like I'm still trying to break down his code. It's like a Rubik's cube, fam. It's literally like a Rubik's cube, trying to break down the code and where he puts stuff and what he uses and the various different kind of sounds to keep things fresh for 4 bars or 8 bars or 2 bars, like something coming in, like and like not even just like in not even percussion wise, like instrumentational, like melody, like the key that he's in, like going up the scale, down the scale, like the melodies the same but different in a certain part of the song.
That is for me. That's production. That's producing.
100.
You were saying in the beginning about beat making and producing, different. I know a beat maker and I know a producer. Facts.
Yep.
The difference is clear. And this is about, I think I was watching a Quincy Jones documentary.
Ooh, that documentary, bro.
You know what I'm talking about. And he was doing for the Off the Wall album. I want to get to the level of bringing in musicians. And you know what? On that,
bringing in orchestras, bro.
On that note, I need to salute my brother Sway. Sway is there. Sway is bringing musicians in, and it's working. So salute to Sway, but that's what I want. I want to be in that. I want to be in the control room, directing the violins and directing the bass player. That's the end term for me.
Well, you know, like you said, like directing is like the producer is the overall director, you know, of the record. Like it's cool to make the beat.
Yeah.
Like there's this in the like producer community, there's this conversation of where some producers feel like the lines are blurred or blurring or have blurred between a producer and a beat maker. But I think once you get to a certain level, it won't be a misunderstanding of the separation of the two. And it's not that one being disrespectful to the other.
Yeah.
Because somebody who just comes up with the beat, even if you're that same person,
yeah,
you make it and then you flush it out. You give it the beginning, the middle, the end. You fucking, if it's talking about cinematography, you fucking direct that shit, you print that shit, you edit that shit, you add the gloss into it, you add the LUTs to it, you know what I'm saying? Get the graphics or whatever the fuck you need to do. You bring the music in, bring the piece. That is the production, fam. You know, and as you said, I'm watching Sway on his Instagram, bringing man them from Ghana, man them from next place, playing bass, you know, and one, I've started to get into that bag for your records, Artcha.
I know. I'm excited.
And two, like, who also kind of inspired me to do that was like Black Milk.
Yeah.
One of my favorite producers as well, producer artist, inspiration for me. Like, salute to him if he sees this, my guy. When I met him,
that's your brethren, right? I know there's a few photos of you, like, chummed up, yeah.
Fam, you see Black, man. Oh man, he's a cool dude. He's always been cool. I remember seeing him in like 2005 or 6 at it might have been not XOY though.
Scala?
No. Is it, what's it called? Not Yo-Yo. It's Cargo.
Yeah.
That show where he just did Sound of the City, and he had the big chain, and he was getting. That's when he used to like wheel him at a laugh that time that I seen him, because I was like, bro, you remember the big chain? He was like, oh man, don't. He had the big chain. He had like the kind of large sweater. He had the baseball cap. But at the time, that was my shit. Like, oh man. But to see his transition, you know, and he was making heat. He could have just continued being that, you know, like his own projects, obviously stuff with Slum, but his transition to then becoming more musical and bringing a band on tour and then implementing instrumentation, musicians in his music, and it going to like the next level. I'm like,
that's it. That's what it has to be. It has to be that. It has to be that.
Because that's the essence, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get too trippy and too kind of nerdy and weirded out and stuff, but like sound and frequencies and being able to harness whatever you have and then make it like into something like a snare drum or like a bass.
Yeah.
Like that's the tangible, you know what I'm saying? Like
you have to do the work. The work is the research. The work is the study, and the work is the submersion in the rabbit hole. You go down the rabbit hole. It starts with Quincy Jones, then I go to Stevie Wonder, then I go to Sounds of Blackness. I pull out the vinyl, bro, and then I look at the credits and I look at the bass player, and then I go down to his rabbit hole of he's played on this other, bro. I'm a nerd
to this, bro. We are nerds to this.
100%, man.
Real talk.
It's in you. It's in your heart. You can't. And that's for me why I really want to do more focus on production next year, because I got loads to learn from you, bro. I got so much to learn. I just want to learn next year.
But I'm like, you see, Sky, were you saying something?
No, I'm just good.
Oh, nah, like this year, obviously, has been a blessing and a curse. You know, the whole pandemic and stuff, being locked down. But like you said, like the learning aspect of like wanting to advance and like, and especially as something that you're passionate about and like something that you love, do you know what I'm saying? Like, has been this year for me, like coming along in understanding like musicality to a degree, and coming along and understanding musicality, learning audio engineering. Like, it's really like this year has really been like sick for me. Like, I've advanced a lot you know, and I want to continue to advance, and trying to, you know, turn this little thing of ours into something where I could be in the studio and be like, yeah, fam, you man come, session time, you get me, let's vocal this track, let's work on this, we can mix it, we can just be in that space, fam, and then, as Daak was saying, like, give it out to the world, do you know what I'm saying, and execute things that we have in here and see it, like, that's why, like Chalice Remix was such a, to bring it back, Chalice Remix was such a kind of, because like I was like, okay, I know where everybody else is gonna go with this, but let me go this way, and you know, I hear this in my head, and then when I did it, like, and I've done that bare times, and I'm not to sound like big and stuff like that, yeah, but like once you do that, like to 10,000 hours, once you do that again and again, like you're like, rah, man can do this, like, you know what I'm saying, like you get a little bit of confidence, and it's like, obviously, like you're growing every time this happens. When I did Chalice Remix, I was like, whoa, and what, like when Deneo commented on it, even though it wasn't picked, but when he commented on it, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then when I was in West Point Studios, because I'm insurance only, shout out to them, by the way, they organized like a writers camp and whatnot, and Jay Hatch was in there, who's OG, shout out to Jay Hatch as well. And I was playing the instrumental, and like we're both kind of nodding our head to the beat in unison, and I was like, oh, yeah, come on.
Sick.
I was like, wow. But yeah, like just coming along and continue working to be in the place that you want to be is something that I guess we're all striving for. You know what I mean?
Real talk, man. Real talk. And that's a beautiful way to put the cherry on top, man. You know, I mean, is there anything else you want to add, Arch?
I'm just happy. This is a great moment, man, because I've wanted to just listen to you, Juke. I just want to listen to you, and I think a lot of people watching have more insight into you, your process. I think that's legacy, bro. So I'm just happy to be part of it, man. Salute to Scan, the Oracle. And yeah, man.
What was it? The Oracle. Tony Stark. Those are your new AKAs, bro.
You know them artists with about 10 different monikers. 10 different AKAs, brother.
Yeah, man, come on.
Let's get this music out, man. That's what it is next year, man. Next year is just
cool. We'll talk.
Nah, sorry to cut you, bro.
Go on.
No, just to agree with Artcha, like, yeah. Like this is I don't really have well, I'm getting to the point where like I want to do more stuff with content and kind of let people in and stuff like that. But yeah, this is a dope moment for me to kind of express myself, and I appreciate you, man, then for giving me the opportunity to do that, as always, as usual. So,
beautiful, bro, beautiful, man. And there we are, brother. That's November Rain. You know, it's been a beautiful four-part series that we put together, and you know, I'm sure we're gonna bring it back next year as well, man, and you know, just take it up a level again, you know. But it's, yeah, man, it's definitely been a beautiful being part of that journey and seeing that journey as well, man, you know, along the way, and just looking forward to doing some more dopeness with you and watching your growth as well, man. Continue to grow going forward, you know, and everybody growing, God willing, you know what I mean, and just, you know, transform into the real Avengers, bro. That's where it's at.
Facts. No, 100%, bro. Like, I just envision the dope shit. Like, that is it. Like the dope shit. Like the dope musicality. Dope, like just orchestration and like making just dope shit. Like, I envision it, fam. Like dope music, fam. Like dope visuals and all that shit just being out there, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You got it.
Real talk, man. Kings, super sweet as always, man. Much love. Until the next episode.
Trust me.
Be the rhythm killer with the freshest brand new. It's like the boy they forgot or they never knew. So that the P stand for Pepper, London Posse is the crew. Try pressure who? One and big up SKANDOUZ, big up Dre and big up Artcha too as we move.
True them no know about
London Posse.